Hey guys, it's Vlad, and I am on my 20 millimeter, and I freaking love it. The coverage is beautiful, and if I ever want to do any vlogging, I don't have to stretch my arm out so much. But, anyways, I've been using the M4 Pro, all these freaking names. I've been using the iPad Pro, the M4 edition. It's the base one. It only has let's see here. It only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. I didn't need anything special. I didn't get it to play games, but I am playing games right now. I'm playing Call of Duty on the thing. And it's like a cheat code, I swear, because you could just you don't even have to get that large of a scope. You could just aim and see the little pixels. I have it on ultra settings and it's working just fine. The fans haven't kicked on. Well, it doesn't have any fans, but it is not even that hot anyways. The wide surface area really helps. This is the 13-inch version, and its size is super useful as a secondary display for my M4 Max. It is like a lifesaver because sometimes I just need a reference monitor, and the best screen I have right now is just my iPhone screen. But with this screen right here, without any haloing or any of those artifacts that we have on the MacBook Pro displays, it just helps out a lot. I do have the glossy version, but what's a $20 solution for that? Oh yeah, just a screen protector that has a matte finish, and I got that for both of these, so they match. And it's just been super helpful, even as a monitor for any of my cameras. I mean, I just slap it on there. It looks ridiculous, but you could see everything. And USB 4 or Thunderbolt 4 is just so useful. I have no issues with it. I do have an issue where they could have added it and they didn't on their newest models. I mean, how do you not add Wi-Fi 7 but add it to the iPhone, but not add it to the iPad or Mac for in this instance? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they need one product to be better than another in some areas. I get it, but I don't want to get it. Now, in terms of performance, like I said, I've been gaming on this. I don't edit video on this. I will probably do some animations or just some rough sketches. I might as well. I got the Apple Pencil, and it is super useful whenever on the Mac on Sidecar. Whenever using that at all, it'll save you because you don't have to run and look for a mouse. You could use that as a pointer. Because frankly, I cannot do it with my thumb. I could download more GPU intensive games like Resident Evil 4. I love the original. I'm sticking to the original. The remake it looks pretty, but there's something that the 2006 or 2004 original just had, and I think we lost a little bit of that magic in the remake. With that being said, I do have Minecraft on here. I haven't played that, but maybe we could do a TNT test. This is an M4, there's already enough videos for that. In terms of the comfort level, I do have some gripes with having to have a folio cover on it all the time, and also having to have a perfectly level area, because my laptop I could set it down anywhere. It has a really heavy base. What is it, like 4 pounds? But still, it's a really solid piece. Where this one, I do want to make sure that it's mounted just properly. Obviously, it depends on your case. I currently have a spec case, and it does the trick. I got it on the fly. I got it right when I bought it, so I wasn't exactly thinking about the future. It was very much a whimsical, spontaneous purchase. I mean, well, it was 1,000 and something, but I think that it was for the better of my productivity, because now I'm getting nothing done. Holy smokes, how do I get out? Okay. I would recommend it for anybody who's never had an iPad before. Get the 11 inch. You probably don't need the 13 inch. Save yourself some bucks and add that to your storage. The M4 Max, it changed my mind, and I didn't need to add so much RAM. I got the 36 gigabyte version of the RAM, and that's double what I had last year with my M3 Pro. I traded that in, used that to purchase this. Saw I had a little bit of sense left, and purchased the iPad on the same day. So I don't know. It's just all coming together. I mean, these two machines, that in tandem, they work so well. Like in the future, the M5, the M6, the M7. I mean, maybe the M7 I'll update, but I don't think I need anything else. The M4 has a way of processing images and graphics that, like, I really have to be running an orchestra on Logic and have high fidelity recordings of everything to even push this thing. I don't have an orchestra. I'm a one man band. I edit videos every now and then, but yeah, I mean, it saves a lot of time with having to render. If I make 2 videos a day, oh no, I lost connection on the game. If I make 2 videos a day, and they're an hour long, let's say, editing that, I mean, it's a difference between 20 minutes that you have and 20 minutes that you don't. Of course, you're getting a coffee, you're scrolling, you're watching the news or something, or playing a game in this case, while it's rendering. But yeah, it's a one of those small incremental updates. But between the M3 Pro and the M4 Max, even just those two, because the M3 Pro was a base and this one is also the base, I could have gotten higher end. But the thing about physics is that it doesn't change for anyone, even quantum physics. I guess it depends on how you read it, but classical physics, these things are going to get hot. They're going to need to dissipate heat, and there's nothing better than a wide surface area. That's why I went for the 13 inch on this display. I could have gone for the 16 inch and not have to deal with fans that rev up, but I wasn't getting the chip with more GPU cores, because that thing would have really revved it up. It does play games fairly well, but I wouldn't have it solely to play games. I would have it if it's making you money, if you spend a lot of time on a computer regardless, and if you have hobbies that somewhat require it. Of course, you don't want it to be your job, but if you can, why not? I'm the hobbyist one. I just like running LLMs, testing some code, changing some code. iPhone apps. I like to see what my machine could do, what it could run, what it can't, know its limits. Run virtual machines. There's just so many things that one could do, and now with this iPad, I could get into animation. I could run those too, and I think that the future looks like Apple's gonna maybe swallow up Nvidia. I don't know if it goes to the route where LLMs could be run a lot faster on Apple Silicon, then it's not gonna look good for Nvidia. I mean, they have to bring it, because these chips, they already have the M5 out. I just want that to be known. The M5 is up and running in their laboratories right now, and they're making the tweaks. I think that something should be done about the fan situation. Either make a larger fan, add wider grills. But yeah, that's gonna be what ends up limiting this system. Of course, if it's more efficient, then it wouldn't have to use so much RPMs on the fans. But I don't know. It's all up to the engineers in this case. Of course, they have to think about the next product, because if this product's so well, then the next product won't. You know, I like it where I like how they really stepped up their game on the M2, and the M3 they had to cut back. They had to cut back on memory, which was a big deal with the M3 Pro. I'm like, how is it professional if it's only 50 gigabytes faster? And even the M2 Pro had had I think it was 200 gigabytes of bandwidth, where the other one had 150. And this M4, I don't even know how many gigs of bandwidth, memory bandwidth. It is 120. So very, like, it's barely not a pro. Could have added a larger battery to this iPad. I mean, they had a lot of surface area. What was another millimeter gonna do? But still, the thinness and efficiency. Of course, that's always been Apple's ideal situation, where it is super efficient and hence really thin. Because of the iPhone progression with their A chips, they have the perfect combo right here with the chassis and a cooling system. The chassis here is the cooling system. The surrounding air is, I mean, it's the reason why it's not so hot. Also, this room is relatively cold at 60 degrees, 62. So yeah, it's probably Fahrenheit. It's probably not gonna have that much of an issue. But if this were California or the South, we would probably have a few fans revving. I did not touch the Mac Mini. One of the reasons is because I was gonna get this computer. I mean, I was leaning towards not getting it and just having the iPad and the Mac Mini and using my M3. I didn't factor in trading in. If trading in my computer was not a factor, I wouldn't have gotten this. But yeah, it gave me a huge discount. Shout out to Best Buy. But yeah, they definitely hooked me up on this one. I mean, I also took care of my computer really well. I put a screen protector on it day one or day two. It did its protecting. No scratches. Battery still in the 90s in condition. And yeah, they even I think asked me about the SSD, but it was all base model, but still it was a relatively good price. I was like, what? You're giving me that much for that much? Well, then again, I remembered how much I spent on it, and yeah, I was like, all right, I'll take what I can get. It's better than GameStop, I'll tell you that. It's not exactly an in-depth review. It's more like, hey, it works. It's good. If you do these things, I mean, you don't need to spend crazy amounts of money to surf the web. Like, you could do that on the phone. If you want the screen real estate, I highly recommend getting an iPad. If you're doing relatively normal tasks for the 80% of the people, checking email messages, hell, you could even add a line to the iPad. So if you're not afraid of whipping it out and receiving a call in the airport, then yeah. But every product is not for everything. I mean, that's why there's different categories that Apple likes to seep into. They're getting into the home hub market, and like, they don't really need to. Hell, I have buddies whose iPhone is a home hub. He just has it sticking onto the wall, play music. He, like, that way it's not something else dedicated to something else. I mean, an iPad mini could work really well. It's just sticking an iPad mini into the USB hub that also charges it and has those USB-C speeds in order to play music, transfers, like basically an Apple TV, a server, media server, a media hub. But for the home to cool this down or dim these lights, or I mean, I guess it'll technically make it easier. I think it's just to gather more data for Siri to make their own LLMs. That's gonna do it for this episode of stuff I rant about. And I hope you guys are all right.